I'm Amita Balachandra. This is just the news. On to our top story now. Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia has announced that India will resume its export of COVID vaccines from October. Now, he said that the surplus supply of vaccines will be used to fulfill India's commitment towards the world for the collective fight against COVID. Now, remember, Vaccine Maitri is India's initiative to provide vaccines to Covovax, an initiative by the WHO to provide vaccines to developing countries. Vaccine Maitri was halted in April this year as India was battling its second wave of COVID. Now, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Nepal, Bhutan, Maldives, Mauritius, and several other countries are among some of the beneficiaries of the Vaccine Maitri initiative. According to the Ministry of External Affairs website, India has exported over 6.6 crore doses of vaccines to over 90 countries as far. Over 14% of India's total population currently, however, is fully vaccinated. Moving on now, Charanjit Singh Channi has taken oath as the new Chief Minister of Punjab. Congress leaders Sukhjinder Singh Randhawa and OP Soni have also been sworn in as the two deputies to Charanjit Singh Channi. In fact, in his first address as the Chief Minister of Punjab, he said, and I quote, "We have to strengthen Punjab. It is a state of farmers. I appeal to the centre to withdraw the farm laws. I will sever my head, but I won't let any harm come to the farmers," end quote. Now, he was the Minister of Technical Education and Industrial Training in Punjab cabinet earlier. Additionally, on his predecessor Amrinder Singh, Channi also said that he did good work as Chief Minister, and he said, and I quote, "He is also known as a protector of water rights. He is our party leader," end quote. Meanwhile, the centre has asked the 11 states that are reporting a more dangerous type of dengue to take up several measures to tackle it. Now, the states have been asked to start fever helplines, stock adequate testing kits and medicines as well. The 11 states that are reporting this dangerous type of dengue, which is also called as a serotype 2 dengue, are Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Karnataka, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Odisha, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, and Telangana. Now, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare said that during a high-level meeting, the affected states were asked to deploy rapid response teams for the prompt investigation of what they call it as an emerging challenge of serotype 2 dengue, which is more associated with more cases and more complications than other forms of the disease itself. On to news from Bengaluru now. Bengaluru police have arrested two accused who harassed and abused a bike rider who was traveling along with a woman of a different faith. Now, in a viral video, two miscreants can be seen harassing and abusing a man and a woman of different faith while they were on this particular bike. One of the accused can be heard saying in that video, and I'm quoting, "Aren't you ashamed of traveling around with a man like this? Don't you know what kind of times we are living in?" End quote. Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai immediately tweeted and he said, and I quote, "In connection with the case of assault on a man traveling with a woman of different faith, Bengaluru police has acted swiftly, identified, secured two accused persons, registered case, and legal action is initiated. My government deals with such incidents with an iron hand," end quote. On to news related to COVID right now. India has reported 30,256 new COVID cases in the last 24 hours. Half of those cases are from the worst affected state in the country, which is Kerala. Kerala is reporting 15,692 new COVID cases in the last 24 hours. Meanwhile, a new travel advisory by the United Kingdom, which says people from India and a few other countries will be considered as unvaccinated or not vaccinated even after 2 doses of AstraZeneca's Covishield, and that has stoked controversy. In fact, Congress MP Shashi Tharoor has said that he has cancelled multiple engagements because of these rules, which were announced by the UK government on Friday and will come to effect on October 4th, and that it was, and I quote, "offensive to ask fully vaccinated Indians to quarantine," end quote. In a tweet, he said, and I quote, "It is offensive to ask fully vaccinated Indians to quarantine. The Brits are reviewing," end quote. Now, Congress MP Jairam Ramesh has also tweeted, and I quote him, "Absolutely bizarre considering Covishield was originally developed in the UK and the Serum Institute, Pune, has supplied it to that country to this max of racism, end quote. Meanwhile, Goa and UP have both relaxed COVID restrictions. On to Goa first. Goa has now decided to allow casinos, spas, nightclubs to reopen from today. We understand Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant has announced that casinos will be open at 50% capacity for fully vaccinated people or those who have a negative RT-PCR test. Uttar Pradesh government, in the meantime, has also eased COVID restrictions by allowing a maximum of 100 people to gather at events taking place in closed and open premises, which is outside of containment zones. On to news from across the world now. In another set of restrictions announced by the Taliban for women, female employees in Kabul's civic body have now been told to stay home. Only those who cannot be replaced by men have been asked to stay. According to The Guardian, on Friday, the Taliban in fact shut down the Women's Affairs Ministry, replacing it with a ministry for, and I quote, the propagation of virtue and prevention of vice, tasked with enforcing Islamic law. Now, women have been protesting against these rules in Afghanistan since the Taliban takeover, and that really hasn't gone down well with the Taliban. In the meantime, UNESCO director has expressed deep concern over closed girls' schools in Afghanistan as well. In a statement, he has said, and I quote, UNESCO warns about the irreversible consequences if girls are not allowed to return to school at all levels of education swiftly. In particular, the delayed return of girls to secondary school may risk them being left behind in education and ultimately in life, end quote. Also in the news, over 7,000 people gathered in Ukrainian capital for the annual March for Equality in support of the rights of the country's LGBTQIA plus community. In a statement, the protesters said, and I quote, "We've grown tired of waiting for change and enduring the systemic intimidation, pressure, disruption of peaceful events, attacks on activists and the LGBTQI plus community. We demand changes here and now as we want to live freely in our own country," end quote. In fact, there have been several instances of attacks on the LGBTQI plus community, even after Ukraine's labor laws were amended to ban discrimination of the members of the community in the workplace as well. On to news from the world of sports now. Virat Kohli has announced that he will be stepping down as RCB captain after IPL 2021. In an official statement, and he said, and I quote, "It wasn't an easy decision, but one that has been well thought of and in the best interest of this wonderful franchise. Now, the RCB family remains close to my heart as we continue to strive to achieve excellence. As I have mentioned previously on many occasions, I will only play for RCB until my retirement from the game of cricket," end quote. This comes days after he announced that he will also step down as India T20 international captain after T20 World Cup 2021. Now we leave you with some good news, and here's your good news for the day. Delhi government has launched a music bus which will provide training to students in audio production, film production and graphic designing. Now several reports also say that the project will benefit over 5,000 people. Now, Delhi's Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia has said that it is India's first mobile music classroom and recording studio, which will help Delhi government school students to pursue their passion in music. Now, that's it here on Just the News. Thank you so much for watching.